Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good morning. Grand Rising, Bismillah, como estas? Hi guys, welcome to my channel. It's going to be a message for the sign of Pisces. Pisces, my messages are timeless, so when you see them, it's when you're meant to hear them. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe. Also, please don't forget to hit the post notification bell so you can get alerts when my videos are posted. Pisces, if you're new to my platform, welcome. Please hit that subscription button. It would totally mean the world to me. Alright, so the message says, the moment God shows you this, you're going to know what to do. So it came in a form of like this. A download that was like either a realization of yourself or just realizing, hey, beautiful Aaron, love you, thank you for being here. A realization of yourself or just a realization of the fact that God is making himself very, very present, right? And feeling like you just don't want to talk or just being silent, right? So you can hear the message, right? And we talked one time about being in a waiting room. That was one of the messages that I gave, right? Because as I tell y'all all the time, the title's always right. No matter what we talk about um, in the message, the title's always right. The title's always right because that's the download. That's it's like when something is coded and it tips you to automatically know what it means, right? So even if you talk about something completely different in the message, the title automatically tells you, what was behind the intention behind the message, right? And so being in a spiritual waiting room, and it's almost like where this man explained it perfectly. Let me see if I can find it. He explained it perfect as perfect can be, because when you're going through, if you ever went through Dark Night of the Soul or anything even to that extent, it's almost like you are completely different, but still you one and the same. It's the wholeness of, after you realize why everything was happening the way it happened. Sometimes there's some confusion when you don't know how you even got here. So this guy right here, I'm gonna play it for y'all. Hold on, never mind. Hold on, that ain't it. That's the same guy, but hold on, let me see. Oh my God. Anyway, um, when you're in a spiritual waiting room, and it's almost like here you go. Tells you about the integration. Alrighty. So here's another thing they don't tell you about spiritual awakening. No one tells you about the integration and the embodiment period. So I just did a video talking about Dark Night of the Soul, and after your Dark Night of the Soul, when you come out of that. Oh, I hate when they play this music because I can hear it. Anyway, so integration is what he was talking about. After you come out of the Dark Night of the Soul, all the shit that you had to shed. It's on my if y'all want to see it, it's in my TikTok on the reposted, because I reposted it. But I didn't realize it has that music in it, so I can't play it on here because otherwise it's gonna give me a copyright. Hey Miss Kelly, I think that's you. How are you today? Um, so integrating while you're in the waiting room. So there may be changes, right? It could be appearance, mentally, physically. It could be apparent to other people, but it could be in appearance is what I was also saying, right?
going through transformation. And while you're going through the transformation, you may not want to talk. You may want to just, be able to sit in that, and people may not understand that. You have to come to the conclusion that it's not about them. It's for the wholeness of you, for the wholeness of the collective. Because if we still believe in the thing where we know that everything is interconnected, I am you, you are me, right? But I am one, I am wholeness, all in my own energy, right? Um, but still giving out energy. So holding on to your own identity of self, your self identity, or your sense of self, and also knowing that you are still a part of a bigger thing, right? And several things have been happening lately. It's almost like the universe is speaking directly to you, speaking directly to you because of the fact that the messages that come, there is no other way it could have gotten to you other than the universe placing whatever that particular thing is that caught your attention, the person, the place, the thing, whatever made you stop to be able to see and receive the message. It's almost like the universe knew that it had to do these specific things, right? So boom. That's one thing that you learning, but then it's also like, is everybody learning the same exact thing? Because then I've noticed that the universe is doing a thing where I swear, and this is for entertainment purposes only, take it how it resonates. I must have walked through time and literally like left my own self a roadmap. There's no fucking way. Anyway, long story short, there is a way, okay? And quantum leaping, quantum jumping, whatever the fuck everybody be saying, or whatever the hell. Okay, so whatever the physics is behind it, right? And y'all have to, do your own research. I would have to do more research for myself. But however that goes, right? But after you get past that point, but then it's almost like however time travel relates to that. So again, whatever the science would be behind it, that somebody would say, and I don't know if the science is correct because I don't know, like I said, I would have to do my own research about it and everything, but how about the people that write it sometimes don't experience it? But then the people that don't write it be the ones that experience it, and maybe they can't explain it, the scientific way, but I can tell you just what happened. So one day I was outside and bam, I found this. And the placement of this thing only could have been left or did that, or even to know that I would even pay attention to that, it had to have been done by a version of me. Because otherwise, the way that that happened would be just like the universe said, here. And the universe also manifested it into the 3D. So it's right here, it's right in your face, it's tangible, you can touch it. But how did you know I would touch it? Because I'm normally not a, like I said, and then the things are so simple. It's cleansing. It's cleansing a vibration and a frequency like energetically changing the air around you. So even like opening up windows and doors and all the same exact things like in the middle of the storm. Um and it's almost like if you ever opened up all your windows, all your doors, right? And it could be very, very hot, like, during the day or whatever. And then that nice storm breeze come through, and you open up all the doors, all the windows, and let the wind remove all the heat in the air out of that area, and you can feel a shift in the air. It's almost like even playing music real loud, or banging on something real loud, whatever, it changes the frequency in the air, right? And so something about the sound and cleansing of the vibration, you know, it'd be a vibe, but um only if it's a vibe, because what could be vibrational to you could also be different to somebody else, because something happened. um Again, tangible things that you can see, and it's kind of necessary for everybody to see that um the playing field is the playing field, like your playing field, right? Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, it is necessary. It's necessary because, one, the most beautiful thing about anything, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent, is when you realize where the problem began from the beginning, right? Or where the change happened, or where the shift is. Even now, like being in a spiritual waiting room, this is where the shift is, right? And so you can, jump fully, wholeheartedly into the situation, into the win, into the situation, into the circumstances. You can fully embrace it, whatever it is, good, bad, ugly, or indifferent. You can understand that sometimes opening your hands is the best thing to do, instead of, holding on to anything. When you open your hands, you open them to receive. When you open your hands, sometimes it is the best thing you could ever do. It's free. So, on the other side of that, it is where you would take it. Okay, so spiritually, right? Y'all, I'm sorry, I just had my head turned. I wasn't even paying attention. Um Good morning, everyone. So the other thing is smoke, right? Because it was incense. And mind you, a certain type of incense. So it was specifically crafted or created for me to find, cleanse the air, um, and shift some things around. Those, that was a simple way, right? So it was incense on one thing, cleansing and cleaning. It was opening your windows and doors, shifting the air, cleansing and cleaning. Um, then it was, how do you see things? So I was laughing the other day with somebody, and they said they have to clean up their room. You know what? Because cleanliness is next to godliness, right? And I was kind of looking at something. It was talking about linen sheets. Linen sheets raise your vibration, right? And making sure that you keep everything orderly and tidy, right? But as I explained to y'all, like certain parts of my house are like automatic, you know, any given day time, that's gonna be, the area. I always struggled and had an issue with my room, because it was almost like that was my one place for me to do whatever it is that I wanted to do. But I also learned to, kind of put things back and clean up behind myself. But sometimes I find myself still creating huge ass messes, right? And one of the things, spiritually that you learn is that, when there's messes being created and things of that nature, it is, could just be, a symptom of whatever it is that, they would say medically or whatever. Or it could be spiritual attachments and things of that nature, right? So in my mind, I'm like, why the fuck do, every time I do this or I'm cleaning or I'm doing something that, because making up your bed is important. One of the things that I read a long time ago, it talks about how most successful people, make their beds and things of that nature. Anyway, long story short, the point of it is somebody else said that they was having an issue. They need to clean up their room, right? They need to clean up their room because they know it was a mess or whatever. And I said, well, I need to do the same thing. And I'm sure my mess and their mess and your mess and everybody's mess is not the same amount of mess. Because I could have 1, 2, 3, 4 things laying on the floor. I think it's a mess. I could have 50,000 things laying on the bed or this, that, and the third, yada yada. It could just be a mess or whatever. You know what I mean? Or it could just be a simple tidy, whatever. Anyway, long story short, the point was, person said they needed to clean up their room because it was a mess. I had saw something that day, and one of the guys said, "You can tell when a girl got good pussy." And he said one of the ways you could tell they have good, cat is if their room is junky, right? So I was laughing at that because I had just seen that. And then later on, the person mentioned them needing to clean up their room. So I'm like, 2 times in one day, the universe just said to me something about cleaning up your room. That's very specific because the first time, it was just the real, it was funny. Now somebody else is telling you, that, and then you done already been saying because I've been organizing. I told y'all getting rid of clothes and things of that nature, like decluttering, because I have so much, and a lot of it had tags and shit on it. So, like, get rid of the shit you're not wearing it. Do something different, right? And by the time you start doing whatever it is that you want to do, you're gonna want new stuff anyway. So, of course, um, so I'm over here like, okay, I gotta do the same exact thing. That's what I said, right? And the person, the way they were saying it was like, it was down because, I need to clean up my room, but they was, saying it in a way where it was like, it was a bad thing. And then I said, that's funny because I guess you have to look at it from a different perspective because I just literally seen a reel today that said, if your room is junky, you got good pussy, right? So the person that we started laughing, and she was like, "Definitely, I'll take that." You see what I'm saying? So I guess it's just perspective. So it could have just been, you. Of course, we know we need to clean it the fuck up, right? Anyway, so, but it's just a perspective because on one hand, it could feel bad, like, you know, I didn't do this or I didn't do that. But sometimes y'all have to realize, even in the change, when he said integration, sometimes your old habits will happen to, bond with the new ones. But it's just, and how quickly you reroute, reconnect, redo. And then on top of that, who's to say what is what? Because all these people will say, oh, and if you're spiritual, you should have to do this. If you're this, that, like, y'all know I hate the documented things, right? Or this, that, not, it's not the documented things. It's like the things that, oh, I wrote this book, or oh, I did this, or oh, I did that, right? And it was documented. And how many times have I told y'all people put lies in books, right? You have to have discernment. Of course, read it, get the knowledge, study, do all the things that, your spiritual journey leads you to do. But we also have to have some discernment because, again, I can write down anything, put it in a book and sell it, right? And everybody, if I, people who resonate with it, they'll take it as the gospel. People who, may know better or know differently will say, this girl knows absolutely nothing. Either way, point being, once I write it down, it seems like I know something, and there's going to be people that follow it. It's going to, now create a buzz for this, that, or third. And it could actually probably corrupt, the system of knowledge and information, because now we got this out here. But as y'all know, when one thing exists, so does the other. The minute something popped into your brain, the other scenario of that times 10 also exists. Okay, we just already had that conversation, like, a couple weeks ago. And so, y'all, the main takeaway in all of this is, when God shows you this, you gonna know what to do. Nobody else can tell you what to do. Nobody else can tell you what's right. Nobody else can't tell you what's wrong. It is between you and your solar system, your surroundings, your what. And then be mindful, because that also goes for you. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, however it's happening, there also is another scenario, another version, another and then people would say, well, oh, I can kind of direct myself here. And y'all, so the other day, this also came up too, twice. And it was crazy because this man, and I don't know why I'm calling this man, but this man um, said the same exact thing, just in a different way. I was watching something, I forgot. My attention got directed to something. Watch this. I think it was on Netflix, I want to say, but anyway, I gotta watch some of the stuff that gets directed. Anyway, this one was something really, really good, and what it says is, um, a certain part of the video, the movie said, your past, the past is written by the future, by your present, like right now, right? Right now, we're writing the past. So if you want something to change, this is your opportunity to change it right now. Then after that happened, this man wrote it, the exact same thing, but he wrote it in a different way, but it was the exact saying on Instagram later on that day. And I'm like, that's oddly fucking specific, because ain't no fucking way that can come up twice in the same day, unless it's another one of those things. Like, pay attention to that. Okay, so now guess what? Now that you know that, right? The opportunities that come, the thoughts that come, the actions that follow, the thoughts that come, because of course you can do something really, really amazing today, or you can do something really fucked up today. And depending upon what you choose is going to dictate how you'll be talking about your past. Like, what the fuck? Every thought that ever existed is existing. And so who do you talk to about that? Well, right now, I guess we're talking to each other about it. And so it could potentially make no sense to anybody, or it can make all the sense to everybody. And every time I learn something different, or every time I'm shown something else that exists, because why the fuck am I learning that there's this species of this and this species of that? And I'm saying, there's no fucking way that there all of a sudden is now animals and stuff. Like, I know you don't see everything that exists in the world, because there's so much stuff. But why the fuck is all these weird ass animals now all of a sudden being like shown to me? The power of the words over the silent ones, man. And so as I'm sitting, and I swear, I think the more stuff that I'm being shown, it's making me more and more like quiet in the brain. Why? I don't know. I honestly don't know what that means, but I also understand fully like what it means. Even like right now, what's going on in the world, right? So everywhere, and I kind of don't want to talk about, but I do. I kind of don't want to talk about the political, crap that's also happening, that's being designed to steal your happiness and your joy and your faith and your trust. Like all of this stuff is being designed to put you on a lower vibration, right? And then out of nowhere, God shows you like all of this stuff is happening, but if you pay attention to that, this is all that's going to be happening. And if you focus on what's actually happening right now around you, like I'm showing you some wonders. I'm showing you some things that you've never seen. I'm showing you that there's elevation. I'm putting you in the direction of this because I don't want you to um be distracted by the beauty, the destruction of the world, and not see the beauty in the world, not see something that's worth saving, not see like where like seeing God in the situation. Like there's this happening, but there's also this happening. Because like I was saying to y'all a minute ago, how am I seeing all these different species of like starfish and birds and um just more stuff being shown. One of the things was resetting my algorithm. There was a way that on one of the platforms on TikTok, it showed me how to go behind the scenes in the settings and reset my algorithm to where it wasn't doing, what it was programmed to do. Like to me, I feel like they target black people with a lot of like, hair videos, a lot of negative, low vibrational shit. The low vibrational, and when I say low vibrational, because everything has its purpose and its meaning. Oh, so the other thing was, um, watch who is speaking over you. So there's a guy that somehow, manifested his me into his vision, right? Or him into my vision. Anyway, he's on a repost too, but very prophetic person, right? Because I was listening to some of the stuff. And do y'all remember months and months ago? I can't even remember when I started saying this. I was telling y'all something about the Statue of Liberty and, you know, it don't belong there, right? All of the stuff that I've been telling y'all. Now I'm starting to see like other people saying the exact same thing, and I'm like, my body is getting chills and going on glow mode because I know they're not lying and what they're saying, right? But again, we have to be diligent because remember the intention behind what's being programmed, and you are the programmer. So right now you're programming, and I know y'all be hearing this, and I know y'all be probably sick and tired, but it is so fucking true. Your past is created by your now. So with that being said, change gears, change directions. What the fuck does that mean? Okay, so universe showing you in a way you can do this. This is what you did before, right? Or now you have an opportunity to do something in the same field, but it's different, right? So you can either use the old thing, what you did before, same process, but the old thing comes with, other obligations, other situations, other scenarios that would have to be cleared up before that. The new thing basically is learning something different, doing something different, same field, but now it's like the learning curve is, not there anymore because of the fact that this is all everything new, but it kind of wipes away everything old. The old thing still comes with obligations, but you're loyal to the old thing. You're loyal to the old thing, and yes, it could potentially work, but the new thing gives you a fresh start. The new thing is a little scary because, you know, you've never done it before. But you've done it. You've done it because it's the same activities. It's also like being able to kind of, what is the lesson? What was the lesson? Are you going to pass the test because this is a part of the lesson? And then everything that's going on surrounding you, yourself right now, and then everything that's going on in the world. How do you actively participate in the energy of, saving the universe and the world and everything else by being not what they are? Because there has to be some type of balance in here, right? And then I'm watching just sit still, be still, sit still, be still, sit still, be still, because the thing that's happening right now has to happen. It has to happen the exact way that it's happening. But you have to actively, every person has to play their part. Every person has to play their part in the system. And sometimes it looks like it's going the wrong way, but it's actually going the right way. Like, I know y'all done had times when you wanted something to go the way that you wanted it to go, and you had it all planned out in your brain. And then it goes the complete opposite because it had to. It had to. And even when you may be slightly, questioning, like, okay, I had it worked out to the T. This is the way it was supposed to go. But then I noticed that something different happened. In the midst of, there was a slight change in the altitude, and it kind of threw everything off. But that slight change in the altitude that threw everything off is actually what made everything better. And it didn't feel like it at the time because you thought that you didn't have any more to give. You didn't think you had any more to go. You didn't think that, like, enough is a fucking enough. And then you realize that you're so much stronger, you're so much better, you're so much wiser. Um, you can also be so much weaker in the situation too, like, less aggressive on some things. Um, so whatever it is, it's the balance of whatever it would be on that. Um, Good job. Anyway, whatever the balance which would be on that. Um, but you realize the benefit of it. Anyway, I feel like today's going to be a really good day. Y'all be mindful of what y'all are focused on. Don't really care about who is focused on you. Because the other thing that I saw was so many people watch and say nothing. So many people watch you and say nothing. And whether or not they like you, they love you, they admire you, they are repelled by you, they still watching. And so, not for nothing, that means you are an inspiration. And a lot of us don't realize how important we are, honestly, to the system. And some people are more like they think they're more important to this system, which is fine. And I guess there has to be some balance in it. But one thing that I actually know too is that living in an upside down world is a thing. It's like the people who are really, really good people don't get acknowledged for being really good people. The people who are really, really bad people don't get acknowledged for being really, really bad people. But the beautiful thing about the universe at this point in time is it's showing exactly who everybody is. So you can't put on a fake ass smile or a fake ass voice and say, oh, I'm this, that, and a third, and this is what I do. The universe is going to expose it, because that's what happens during revelations. Things get revealed. And so why is it so hard for people to be okay with themselves? Why is it so hard for people to try to not care what somebody else thinks, right? And the funniest part about all of this is, even when, because I'll be saying shit and I'll be saying, God is watching, right? So for me, I'm going to say and do whatever it is that I'm going to say and do, because once I thought it and once I said it, God already, my actions, my character is not under scrutiny for y'all, for people, right? Once I do something, I'm accountable. Like, I have a healthy fear of God. Um some people don't have that. They'll do stuff in private, and because they're hiding from people the judgment of, right? Meanwhile, God saw. And a person recently told me, they said, because they got mad at me because I wouldn't let them cross my boundary. And so they said to me, that's why you're getting everything that you're getting, right? And at first, it made me wonder, like, what the fuck does this person? What is this outside person looking at from my life online that they see that makes them think that I'm getting something negative? Because that's what that sounded like. That's why you're getting what you're getting. And as I looked around, right? Because people don't realize, like, I have a fucking beautiful ass life. Like, no lie. That's the reason why I fought as hard as I did when I went through the dark night of the soul. Like, if I didn't have a beautiful life and when I went through the dark night of the soul, I would have fucking died. Like, that is fucking traumatic as fuck. And so for a person to say that's why you're getting what you're getting and try to use it because in my mind I always think that people be talking to me crazy, but they don't even realize I live better than them. Like, for everything that I have gone through, I would not take any of it away or back, because I fought to get where I am. Like, I didn't just fucking inherit no shit, like, nigga. But I also inherited the shit. You see what I'm saying? Because spiritually, guess what? It was always mine. I inherited it. The actions, the behavior, the everything, like, but for a person to think that they can talk to me crazy and say something like that, like, what if I was weak minded and I didn't realize? Like, I wake up every fucking day. Do y'all hear? And I done been on this live long enough. You can go back and fucking replay this shit. Do y'all hear what it sounds like outside where I live at? Like, I live in Georgia, but I swear it sound like, y'all hear the birds and things of that nature. Like, I wake up and I see, like, nature. I wake up and I see beautiful shit. And so for anybody to think that, okay, I got online and I told y'all about the shit that was happening with me when I lost my job. I told y'all about the shit that happened to me when I lost my husband. I told y'all the shit. But mind y'all, in the process of me telling y'all all this shit, what do I keep telling y'all? I lost nothing. I lost nothing. All I gained was a new sense of, this is how it has to be done on a different spectrum. You have to do it this way. You can't be with this person. You gotta do whatever. In my mind, like, everything that happened fucking made me so, I'm a fucking, like, yo. Matter of fact, let me not even do it. Let me not even do it. But for all the shit that I went through, y'all, this bitch bad. I don't care what nobody say. I would not want to be nobody but me. I know what type of shit I went through. And for a person to say that and not know that I am sitting in one of the best positions I could ever fucking be in life. Like, you don't know me, dog. Like, yo, what the fuck? Like, listen. God shows me every day. Like, even when the people come to the channel and they be like, well, God, this and that and the third, and it makes me laugh so much, because if they knew what I knew, the connection that I have, like, with God, period, and then the people come over here and call me everything but a child of God. Like, I don't care what y'all people talking about. I know some stuff. Like, I feel in my heart, my DNA tells me, do what the fuck you want to do and know that God is watching, period, always. And then you will act accordingly and it won't feel so bad. And you won't care what the fuck a person knows. Like, and the spirit in you, like, when people talk about old money and new money, right? Old money versus new money. Old money versus new money. I don't even feel like it's about even money. Like, it is a behavior. It is a, how long have you really fucking been around this bitch to know that people come and go. Like, their opinions come and go. One day they love you, the next day they don't. Another quaalude, they love me again. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, I mean, why would you not love me? I'm lovable. I mean, for every bitch cell that I have in my body, I'm lovable. I'm helpful. I'm thankful. Like, what the fuck? Either way, um, yeah, that's why everything is happening to me. Everything's happening to me. Everything's happening to me, for me, through me, around me. It's just shit happening. Now, the parts that I can control, I will definitely, do my thing. I can't worry about shit that I can't worry about. Like, that don't even make sense. So, long story short, people, this is your daily dose of do what the fuck you want. And that God's watching. Have a healthy fear of God, because at the end of the day, the people are like, this place, y'all. I've been seeing some new fish, new plant life, new this, new that, and I'm like, where the fuck is this shit at? And why am I just not like, why are people eating all of this stuff that, like, why, first of all, why are y'all eating that? How did you know it was edible? Um, why the fuck would you eat that? It's a lot of things that's happening in my brain, but mind you, it's a lot of like silence in there. Like, just take it all in, rest, relax, relate. Don't do too much, but do everything. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know how it's. I'm such in a state of everything exists. Like relax and chill, do nothing. Meanwhile, you're gonna have to figure it out, little lady, because life is happening. Life is happening right now as we speak. And I feel like a lot of y'all are going to be so upset with yourself if y'all don't stop to literally enjoy the moment. Enjoy the moment. No matter what is happening, why is it happening, how is it happening, enjoy the moment. Like, God has been working with me on my patience. Patience is a virtue. It is like, I don't know if it's a virtue or not. They said so. That's what the quote is, but then after you've been patient, like after, like you really wasn't patient, but after you get the thing that you wanted to have, then you be thinking, you're all excited and, elated and all these good things, but do you think about the trauma that goes along with when you're waiting for something, or when you know something's supposed to happen and it hasn't happened yet, or it hasn't, you just haven't, but then you're just focused on that one thing and you're not paying attention to all of the great things that are happening to you at that moment in time. And sometimes we don't realize how good, or how amazing your life could be without something, like, or with something. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you think, I cannot live without this person, I can't do without this thing, I can't, whatever it is, and then you realize you can do without that thing. You can have that thing because it works both ways. For the things that you think that you can't have or shouldn't have, or even the guilty pleasures, there's also things that you just probably shouldn't have, or you should restrict yourself from. So one of the things, and this is just a tangible thing that you can kind of like, put your hands on or something, or put your eyes on. And this may be a little bit grown, adult shit, but something came across my screen. I don't know if I was watching it or if it was on one of the social media platforms. But anyway, it was talking about like poly relationships and things of that nature, right? And in my mind, I think that when it comes to poly relationships, they should only be like wealthy, right? Only because why the fuck do I want to be in impoverished situations with all of these extra people that are helping it be impoverished? Like, the beauty and the blessing and all of these things is the building, like the growth, the expansion of the family. Like, why? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in thought, but I believe broke people shouldn't be, fucking. Um, cause why? Why are you doing that when there's so many other things that you could be doing? Like trying to figure out how to get your shit together. But that could just be conditioning or something else. I don't know. Um, but I think that's the right way to do it or not do it. So if you can't afford, because this man had, I think he had like 6 bitches in his house, 6 women, 6 wives, and the house was small as fuck. And as kids, like, where's everybody sleeping? Like, it has to be a comfortable condition or situation. And that I would think that y'all would put yourselves under these circumstances, right? But maybe I'm wrong because, maybe I just am not thinking of it if, there were very, 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 very impoverished situations and then this made it better. You know what I mean? Because, it could be stepping stones in it or, that too. But, nigga, how did you get this many wives in the process of you? I don't know. I ain't judging. Um, but I wouldn't want to do that. So maybe it might just be, but then again, it might be somebody that would think that my level of it would be something that they don't want to do too. You see what I'm saying? Everybody's level of whatever it is that they want to do is different. Anyway, long story short, it was getting into the relationship aspect of it, right? And somehow it got onto this whole conversation of, um, what the fuck did they say? Logic and emotions, which triggered me in all the wrong ways because I swear, because y'all would say that women are emotional, right? But then in my mind, I'll be thinking, do men not realize that how fucking emotional they are? Like, men be swearing they stand on business, but I'll be thinking sometimes women be, I don't know. So logically, they'll be saying, or somebody was saying that people will use that and they will be saying that relationships are emotional situations anyway, so how can you use one thing on the other? Anyway, I was trying to figure out how the fuck we got there. But anyway, I guess that's a thing, right? um I was heavily triggered because I felt like I done heard that conversation before, and it's always seems like to me like one sex is always trying to diminish the other sex's capabilities. That's where I feel like that situation came from. And, I'm tired of the narrative of because they got balls, they always right. But I'm also just tired of the heavy debate between the two, like the split. Like, can we all just get along? And then, why is it like who switched up the hormone trays? Because if we can see that something is off clearly, because it's the other thing, like it's always the mom's fault. Like, why are the men so sassy? Well, it's because they're always growing up in homes with single mothers and then, well, is anybody holding the dads accountable here? Because I mean, I do remember the milk line being a real thing. Like, I'm gonna go to the store and pick up the milk, and then the nigga never show back up. Like, is there any accountability on the men's part for creating, all of these single family homes and this and the third? And, maybe the women could be at fault. I don't know. But instead of the blame game, why don't we ask them? I don't know, right? How you solve it. Either way, the point of it is, um, can we all just get on? The back and forth is not gonna, help anything. Um, I don't know why, because then Tupac just popped in my brain. Because then you have a race of babies that hate the ladies that make the baby, all that good shit. Um, yeah. Whatever the message is for you that you're supposed to get or that you're supposed to, take in and receive, with everything that I said and all the conversations that have been had, trust yourself. Trust yourself because you know the way. You know which direction you're supposed to take. You know what you're supposed to do. Your journey is your journey. Your pathway is your pathway. So, for instance, yesterday, my son wanted to go to the store, right? So, the store is where he said he wanted to go to, what he wanted to do. There's only one store that I know of that he could get what he was talking about. So, the pathway is clear. You go out, you make this turn, you make this other turn, you make this other turn. Anyway, so when we go to make the first turn, he proceeds to tell me to go to the other place, right? So in my brain, I said, is there, no, not in my brain. My mouth said, but I'm turning in a direction that he tells me to turn in. But my mouth said, while I'm making that turn, are you sure that this place has the same exact thing? My mind, everything in me knows that this is the direction. Don't alter from the pathway. Somehow I altered from the pathway though. So before we even got to the location, like literally not even a mile or half a mile down the road, because I started asking questions, like, does the other place have this specific thing? He says he don't know. I said, well, you better check, because I'm not going to the other location, and you're gonna have to, figure it out over here, if, because I haven't just been wanting to leave the house, right? And so that was the same exact effect. Anyway, long story short, before we got even a little bit down the street, he done figured out that they don't have it. So he's like, he heard what I said, and so he tells me to turn around. So as I make the turn to turn around to get ready to go back in a direction that I knew that we should have already been going in anyway, I asked him, what made you decide to want to turn in the other direction? He said, what you mean? I said, anytime you say you want to do this, we go to this specific location. What made you today decide to say to go to a different, it's same place, different location though, but the same place also don't always do the same exact things, which we found out. Same location, same name, same everything, but one location does this, the other location does something different. So what made you decide to say to go in the other direction? But the bigger question was, what made me listen to him? Because in my mind, I didn't even know if the other location had it. I just know that I never go that way. The route is already planned out. So now, instead of me making the turn that I should have done, going in the direction that I should have gone in, I let him tell me to go in a different direction, to only have to now turn around and come back and go, and I lost nothing. You know what I'm saying? I lost nothing from the situation. Maybe a little gas or something. But the point of it is imagine that being your real life, and somebody, you taking a turn or a direction that somebody told you to, but the route was already planned out. You already knew what you were supposed to do. But somehow, because even in the fact that I made the turn, I instantly started questioning, because that's not normal. And so then the discernment part kicks in, because was that what you were supposed to do? To me, I felt like it was a learning experience, because instantly I started questioning. But two, I also didn't want to take away his, because this is what I thought. Although I'm making this turn that I know I shouldn't be making, and I know the route is already planned out. I know this place has, everything that he's looking for. I made the turn because I also didn't want to take away, his freedom in the situation to make the decision on where he wanted to go. But at that moment in time, we were in the same car, we're going in the same direction. There, two people can't go at the same time in one car in a different direction. You have to make the decision together, collectively. Which also led me to the next situation of, sometimes that's where being single, I'm sorry, I love relationships and everything. I'm sure I plan to be married soon, but I ain't dating. Anyway, That's where relationships and being single differ. Because when you're not in a relationship, when you're single, those decisions can be made solely by you, and it don't matter. And every choice and every decision that you make, you know you did it. When you're with somebody in a relationship, in a marriage, in a connection, in a partnership, there's another person riding in the car with you, and you could automatically know that you want to, the route is set, the plan, the destination, everything, but you make turns in things, get set back in things when you know the destination, but because there's somebody else that you have to be considerate of, and not, also be like bullying their decisions and this, that, and the third. You have to compromise with people, and sometimes it sets you the fuck back. And so that was something little, and it happened with my son. But just think about how people do that in real life relationships, where it's wasting, or it's holding years of your time and attention, doing something that is setting you back, because you have to consider somebody else being there, or somebody else's feelings, or somebody else's logic, or somebody else's whatever the fuck. Because logically, to me, if we gotta keep having conversations that, separate this, that, or the third, or we gotta make points, we don't need to be together. Because somewhere in there, I'm gonna end up being set back. I don't like that. So, yeah. Anyway, y'all, I know I done talked y'all head off. So, hey, Tina. Thank you. Thank you for being here. Let me think. Is there anything else? It's okay to be quiet, just so y'all know. It's okay for you to, um, follow what you know to be right for your journey, even if people don't. Oh, so the other thing was, even if people don't approve, who the fuck are they? Um, so the other thing was, men, and I'm only talking to men here. Just because you have male genitalia don't make you a man. But men, be mindful that women, real women, women with old school traditional values, women that have morals and respect themselves, women that know their worth and value, like straightforwardness, not internet games. Don't nobody got time for the reindeer games, okay? Um, being straightforward, being honorable, being yourself, being a grown man, don't come with games. Cause who got time for that? Um, yeah, I don't know what happened, and I ain't questioning nobody's manhood or anything else, but I'm gonna just say that yeah, men are supposed to be hunters and gatherers. Hunt and gather, please and thank you. Stop wanting to be um you know pretty. Y'all can be pretty, but yeah, stop wanting to be pretty. You can be pretty, but stop wanting to be so pretty. I love y'all. Period. I'm cracking up.